You ever have one of those mornings where the world just feels right, like you could finally breathe for a second, even if it's just because the sun's hitting your face through the kitchen window, and your biggest worry is whether your coffee's going to get cold before you can sit down? That was me right there in the middle of my own piece when life decided to take a turn so wild it still makes me laugh. Maybe more like a bitter laugh, but you know what I mean? I'm telling you, what happened next could have come straight out of one of those reality shows, only I was the poor sucker in the starring role. It started with my '67 Mustang shining on the curb, chrome polished so clean I could see my own reflection. That car wasn't just metal and wheels. It was a piece of my old man's soul, every scratch a memory, every rumble under the hood a little heartbeat that brought him back for just a second. And wouldn't you know it, that was the morning Karen, yeah, that Karen three houses down, the self-appointed queen of the neighborhood, allergic to boundaries and louder than a marching band, decided to cross the line in a way I never saw coming. So I'm inside trying to figure out if I want eggs or just another cup of coffee when I hear it, the unmistakable sound of my Mustang starting up. At first I froze, thought maybe I'd left it in gear, maybe a neighbor needed to move it for a delivery, I don't know, something innocent. But then there it was, that high, nervous rev, no finesse, no respect for the car. Not me, not anyone who knew what they were doing. I bolted outside barefoot, adrenaline in my ears, and what do I see? Karen's teenage son, Tyler, who barely looks old enough to shave, sitting behind the wheel like he's about to make his NASCAR debut, and Karen herself waving on the sidewalk, grinning like she's the world's proudest pit crew. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? My voice was already half panic, half disbelief. Karen didn't even blink. Relax, Mike, she says. Tyler just wanted to test drive it around the block. You weren't using it. I thought I was being pranked. You let him drive my car without asking. She shrugs. Actually shrugs. It's a car, not a museum piece. He's careful. Before I could even finish my next sentence, Tyler jams his foot down and the Mustang roars off, except not for long. A screech, a howl, and then, God, I still hear it, a crunch that stopped the world cold. The kind of silence where even the birds quit singing just for a second. Then the shouting horns, the mess of real life smashing into my piece. My Mustang, my dad's Mustang, wrapped around a concrete mailbox at the corner. Chrome scattered, hood folded, smoke pouring up like a bad dream. Karen screamed, "Oh my God, Tyler," and took off running, and I just stood there glued to the curb, feeling like the ground had dropped out from under me. My own reflection was trembling in the broken chrome, and all I could do was stare. Tyler was there, pale as a ghost, shaking Karen, spinning back to me, voice tight, telling me I needed to calm down. It's just a car, Mike. He's fine. Just a car. You ever have someone try to erase your whole life with 4 little words? That's what it felt like. But the worst wasn't over. No, that was just the warm-up act. Because when the tow truck finally rolled up, dragging what was left of my legacy off the curb, Karen started in with the real magic blame shifting. "You shouldn't have parked it there," she says, arms folded, tone like a judge. He thought it was okay to take it since it was on the street. I actually had to laugh, that kind of bitter laugh you get when someone says something so dumb it circles back to being impressive. "Karen, you just admitted your son stole my car." She gives me that smile, the one she saves for the HOA meetings when she's about to hand out another fine. "No borrowed. Don't be dramatic. We'll work something out." Borrowed? I'm almost choking. Without keys, permission, or even a license. That's grand theft auto. "Karen," she rolls her eyes, "you're seriously overreacting, Mike. Tyler could have been hurt, and all you care about is your car. I mean, come on. How do you even argue with that level of logic?" Thankfully, the cops weren't buying it either. The officer who showed up listened to her story, then turned to me. Dead serious. "You and your son are lucky nobody was injured. This could have been a felony." Karen just huffed and muttered something about how the police always take the man's side. Yeah, that happened. Hours later, I'm still shaking it off when there's a knock on the door. It's Karen again, this time with a clipboard. "I think you owe us an apology," she starts. I almost laughed in her face. For what? For you stealing my car? Or for yelling at your son? She snaps back. You scared him. He made a mistake and now he's traumatized. I've spoken to my lawyer. You left your car keys where he could reach them. That's negligence. I stared. Karen, the keys were in my locked house. She just smirks. Tyler said the door was open. That's on you. I slammed the door. No other way to keep myself from saying something that'd land me in handcuffs. But of course she wasn't done. The next morning, taped to my front door, is a document, her unmistakable handwriting across the top. Notice of intent to sue. Property negligence. Emotional distress. Maybe next time you'll think twice before yelling at a minor. I almost spilled my coffee right there on the porch. I mean, you gotta laugh or you'll go nuts. So now I'm getting sued by the woman whose kid wrecked my car. She claimed Tyler had psychological trauma from my aggressive behavior and that I'd failed to secure a hazardous property. Her words, my Mustang was an attractive nuisance, like it was a bear trap instead of a classic car. It was almost impressive. I marched those papers right to my lawyer, Jenna, a sharp, no-nonsense woman with the patience of a saint and the soul of a battle axe. She reads it, looks up, shakes her head. Mike, this is pure nonsense. But nonsense costs money. So we countersued for property damage and trespassing. Here's where it gets wild. Karen doesn't back down. She starts knocking on neighbors' doors, spinning her story. That poor boy could have died. Mike's always been territorial about that car. He threatened Tyler. Pretty soon, I'm the bad guy, the angry car guy, the one terrorizing single moms. I found a note on my windshield. Stop bullying single mothers. The HOA is watching you. Oh yeah, Karen's not just a neighbor. She's on the HOA board. She lives for the drama, and she knows how to weaponize a rule book. The next HOA meeting circus. Karen stands up in her floral blazer, voice trembling just right. Our community should be safe for families. We shouldn't tolerate dangerous car owners who scream at kids. I kept my cool. Karen, your son stole my car and totaled it. That's not a community issue. That's a crime. She fake cries right on cue, and the room splits. Some folks look down embarrassed, but others eat it up. I just kept Jenna's advice in my head, stay calm. Let her dig her own grave. So I turned it around. If we're talking about safety, maybe we should discuss who leaves their kid unsupervised long enough to steal a car. The room goes dead quiet. Even her supporters didn't want to touch that. Karen's eyes turned to daggers. She leaned in and hissed, "You'll regret this, Mike. I promise." And buddy, she meant it. The next morning, something was off. Coffee in hand, I step outside, and there it is, a dent on the hood of my rental, deep and nasty, like someone took a rock to it. Lipstick on the windshield. Pay for it. I'm stunned, but I know this play. As I look around, I spot a camera tucked in her window aimed right at my driveway. She wanted me to lose it on tape, but I didn't. I called Jenna, took photos, made my own notes. She's baiting you, Jenna said. Document everything. That night it escalated. 2 police cars in front of my house. Mr. Lawson, we got a vandalism report. Karen Miller claims you damaged her property. I'm floored. Her property. The dent on my car. They exchange looks. Show me her footage, me tense on the curb, spliced with audio of me yelling, edited, total setup. Luckily, I had my own footage. Time-stamped clean. I showed the officers. One just sighed. Here we go again. Turns out I wasn't her first target. No charges, but the gossip mill cranked up to 11. That night, Jenna called again. She filed for a restraining order. Says she fears for her safety. I laughed, hollow, tired. So, let me get this straight. She trashes my car, sues me, vandalizes my rental, and now wants a restraining order, Jenna. She's trying to push you till you break. Don't let her. But you know what? Enough was enough. Next morning, I set up my own hidden camera aimed right at her driveway. 2 days later, 2:43 a.m., motion detected. I replayed the footage and there she was, Karen herself, robe and slippers, sneaking up to my rental, scratching a long, slow line down the door with something metallic. Busted in 4K. I took the video straight to the station. The same officer from before watched eyes wide. Wow, she's bold. Within hours, Karen was facing charges, criminal mischief, false reporting, attempted fraud. The squad car pulled up to her house, the whole neighborhood peeking out their windows. Karen in full meltdown, yelling about harassment, waving her HOA badge like it was a shield. They read her rights, cuffed her, and Tyler just stood there, eyes red, completely lost. For a moment, I almost pitied the kid. Almost. And that's when the real twist came out. Turns out Karen had been playing puppet master for years, fining people for fake violations, blackmailing one couple over their lawn, inventing complaints for anyone she didn't like. Once the truth hit, neighbors started crossing the street to apologize. She lost her seat on the HOA board. In court, she tried her last trick, crocodile tears, excuses, denial. The judge didn't buy it. Restitution, legal fees, a public apology, all of it. When I walked out, it felt like coming up for air after being held under too long. Weeks later, a letter showed up, shaky handwriting, clearly not her usual. I'm sorry for what I did. Tyler and I are moving. Please don't hold it against him. I folded it up, tucked it away, looked out at my street. Quiet again. Peaceful. The old Mustang was gone, but I'd already started rebuilding, new project, new chapter. Every time I turn that key, I remember sometimes karma doesn't need your help. You just have to let it drive. So let me throw it back to you. Have you ever faced a neighbor who just wouldn't quit no matter what? What would you have done different if you were in my shoes? Drop your wildest neighbor stories or your 2 cents about what justice looks like in the comments. I read every single one. And hey, if you want more true life drama like this, make sure to hit subscribe. Sometimes real life's stranger than fiction.